Welcome back to Sunrise, everyone. Well, joining me now is a local woman with a unique and incredible story to tell. She is a local teacher and she just recently was diagnosed with three types of coronavirus with no underlying health conditions. So, Miss Deanna Salter, thank you for joining us this morning. How are you feeling?
Thank you for having me. I'm great. Thank you.
All right, so tell us about when you first found out that you had COVID. What were the signs and when were you admitted to the hospital?
After I was sick and I put all this together, I learned from the timeline. I started feeling fatigue and just not well around June 20th. And I took myself to urgent care because I had a sore throat. I took myself to urgent care about 4 or 5 days later, and they misdiagnosed me. So with strep throat. So I came home and took care of myself, having strep throat, and then the symptoms started from there.
Okay, and now you are a rather special case because not only were you diagnosed with the novel coronavirus, but also COVID pneumonia and SARS, which is a complication of the new coronavirus, and SARS being another type of coronavirus. So, what was your doctor's reaction and your reaction when you found this out?
Well, I'm not really sure what my doctor's reaction was because we really didn't talk about it. But my reaction, I was scared.
Any idea of how you might have contracted the coronavirus?
None at all. And the only thing that from stuff, literature that I've read, that because of those, because SARS is a COVID, it can generate from there. I just became unlucky and it happened.
Yeah, and it must be scary because I remember you mentioning that you were taking the proper precautions, wearing a mask, socially distancing. Is that correct?
I was, but I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. I wasn't fearful. I was aware because I wasn't going to live in fear. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's part of what I've learned. Even talking to my friends, please, if you take it serious, take it more serious.
Okay. And walk us through of what it was like when you were in the hospital. What was your family's reaction when you were going through this terrible illness? You mentioned that you were coughing up blood. How was your family reacting in all of this?
Well, when I was at my worst, I decided to call my kids and my mom, and I mean it was hard. It was hard. I don't think that I saw my mom so scared in my whole life, and worried. My kids were upset. My son was generally upset, and in the same breath, he told me to fight. He told me, mom, if I don't ever talk to you again, please know that you did everything right. You're a great mom, and of course, you know. We were crying, and it was. I mean, I was saying goodbye to my kids because I didn't know what was going to be the next step. And and that was when he told me that I was going to be a grandma again, and I just knew I had to fight harder now, and it's not fun when you have to say goodbye to your children.
Wow. And I think what's more incredible is from the time that you were admitted to the time you were released, that only took less than a week, right? So, what was the process like when you were at the hospital? And was there anything you did that you think helped with the recovery process?
Yes. So the week that I thought I had strep throat, I had already, by the advice of a phenomenal woman that I work with, I took her advice and I got on vitamin C, vitamin D, and oregano, and lemon oil in my water. And then there's what they call a flu shot in a bottle that goes. It's oil and it goes on the bottom of your feet. So that week I went out and I purchased all of this stuff and I started taking them. And I really believe that that had a big difference in how I was going to get well.
I'm glad that worked for you. As you know, there is no known cure for the coronavirus as of yet. But where are you at now? What's the latest status? Have you tested negative yet? Where do you go from here?
I'm actually waiting for that test. I took another test last week, and so I don't know yet. I'm hoping because they do say that a majority of patients are going to test positive, especially after you've had a really bad case. And those your patients will the patients will even after all the symptoms are gone, for 30, 60 days, you could still test positive, and that's just how this virus works.
And I know that you are a local teacher. Do you feel safe returning back to school amid everything that's going on?
I still don't know everything about what I had. I'm still learning, I'm still researching. But my whole goal is, I don't want to scare the children because they're having a hard time coming back to school as it is. There's a big transition they have to do coming back to school, and they're probably already scared. But I want to ease them and let them know, hey, if you do this, keep doing this, keep wearing your mask, have that hand sanitizer, always use it. Don't forget to use it. I can be there just to, answer questions for them. I'm hoping that I can make a difference there.
All right. And Dina Salter, thank you so much for sharing your story to us, and hope it all goes uphill from here. Take care.
Thank you. You take care as well.